Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In the spirit of capacity building, we are excited to present to you the first episode of KAMSA webinar series. Ah, I'm sorry for the lost connection. I'll start again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are excited to present to you the first episode of KAMSA webinar series, The Power of Time Management, Techniques for Balancing School and Life. Our guest speaker is Dr. Faruk Aminu, an intellectual and orator, class rep of MBBS class of 2017. He's well known for his sound character, proficiency of English language, and most importantly, his outstanding performance as a member of Toastmasters Club, a non-profit educational organization that operates clubs worldwide for the purpose of communication, public speaking, and leadership skills. Today, Dr. Faruk Aminu will take us on a journey through the principles and techniques of time management, exploring strategies for setting goals, prioritizing tasks, and planning our schedules in a way that optimizes our productivity and well being. He will also share invaluable insights on managing time and stress, offering practical advice to help us navigate the demands of our daily lives with ease and efficiency. So, without further ado, I will invite you to join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to Dr. Faruk Aminu. Please get ready to immerse yourself in an enriching and transformative experience as he imparts his wisdom and expertise on the power of time management, techniques for balancing school and life. Thank you and enjoy the webinar.
Thank you, Mr. Suleiman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. As is rightly introduced, I'm Faruk Aminu Bichi, a friend, a colleague, a brother, per se, and a medical doctor by profession. I'm highly elated to be part of you today to give this wonderful presentation on time management. Especially, this lecture is actually not all about medical students. It also encompasses life, being as a doctor. You know, since we're like a family, I will try to put it in a way that from the day you start your level 1, level 2, level 3, up to the time you graduate, or after graduation also, then what postgraduate life looks like. I will try to do justice to what I've been told to do, and I will try to do the presentation, inshallah, within the shortest possible time for time management. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of things to do, though today is Sunday and you came here for the presentation. From the list, I can see we have Mr. Suleiman Abubakar, Abdul Wahid, Abdul Malik, Abubakar Mustafa, Alamin Suleiman, Hamza Kabir, Huzaifa Suleiman, Khadija Nasidi, Umar Okhasha, Rabia Ali Suleiman, Ibrahim Suleiman Tijani. I welcome you all today. During the course of my presentation, I will actually be using more of the chat box because it's more of like an interactive session. So feel free to use the chat box. Don't worry if I call your name. I really don't have to do it. I will just call your name for the purpose of interaction. So for today, as he has introduced earlier, we're going to talk about time and time management. Mr. Huzaifa, can you please share the slide? You have it, right?
Yes, we have it. Suleiman, please let's share the slide.
Okay.
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, by way of introduction, for example, in everything we do, we'll say, okay, today we have a football match. Okay, we're going to learn about geography. We have a cardiology lecture. We have infectious disease lecture. So, but always when we go for those lectures, we don't even ask ourselves, what is infectious disease? What is even cardiology? Why are we even studying it? We always go to the lecture, okay, today we're talking about HIV and AIDS. Okay, you all know about HIV and AIDS, but what is actually infectious disease? What if HIV and AIDS is not actually the core component of infectious disease? So, by way of introduction, any guess from the audience what time what time actually means to you? Just through the chat box, or if you can unmute your mic, any contribution. Okay, to start with, I will start my presentation. Please, second slide. I'll start my presentation by defining what actually time is, the concept and importance of time management, the consequences of poor time management, then how to set goals and priorities, then planning and scheduling. Then we'll go to the conclusion and questions and contribution. This is all something that we have done in our life, especially those that have been in the final, that have passed through medical school, have graduated, or in level 6, level 5. But we will see today if actually we have done justice to the time we had. Okay, what is time for you? A lot of people might say, okay, time is just basically now it's just 7 o'clock, that is time. No. Some people will call it as using watch to look at the time to say, okay, it's just 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. No, actually time is beyond that. Next slide, please. Okay. From this slide, time is a continuous sequence of events, but not an event itself. We always talk about time, but what is actually time? Time is not an event itself. Rather, time is a continuous sequence of events. Time is like actually a measurement. The way we measure how things are heavy in kilograms, grams, or we measure weight in centimeters, that's basically what time is. So when I hear people talk about time and they say they've wasted a lot of time, they didn't utilize that time. Actually, you did not waste a lot of time, or you did not utilize it. Actually, what you just did was you did not do what you're supposed to have done. Maybe you missed an event or something. That's basically what just you have done. But actually, time is not an event itself. The reason why before, ask yourself, what is the history of time itself? Before, we don't have anything like time. Okay, today, now it's already one. But right from time immemorial, people have improvised a way of measuring time. Okay, they will say it's around the sunset now. Okay, it's noon now because the sun is directly above you. So why do we need to have time as a measurement? We need to have time as a measurement because we have series of events that we go through in each and every day, and without time, we cannot actually plan. For example, now today we are having this meeting as time and time management. For example, today we just sent a flyer that we are going to have a presentation on time and time management, and there is no time there. We did not write 10 a.m. If I wish, I can come at 8 a.m. Someone will come at 9 a.m. Someone will come at 11 a.m. Someone will come even at night. But actually, what brought us together now is actually the time. But what we are here for is for the event. We are not here for the time. We are actually here for the event, but the time is what brought us here as a measurement of actually what time we will all come together. Then the second aspect is time management. Okay, if actually time is a continuous sequence of event and measurement, then how do we manage it? So time management is the coordination of all those events that you want to do in a day, or all those things that you want to achieve in life in that day. To coordinate it in a manner that you maximize effectiveness, that is what is called management. Please, can you mute your mic? Someone is making noise from the background. Okay, next slide, please. Why the concept of time, and why do we even need to know about time? Why do we even care? Okay, it's just 10 a.m., it's 10 a.m., that's all. What is there? Number one, we want to save the time itself. In saving time, it's, for example, now we have a presentation to make, but we just come here, sit, talk about the time itself, but we don't even measure how many minutes has the speaker spent, how many minutes the coordinator have spent in making this presentation come to reality. So it is through the use of time that we can save time itself. You understand? We use time to save time itself. Okay, we have time to make a presentation within 1 hour. Okay, we are all free. So is it that we just come and start speaking? No. We'll say, okay, for the first presenter, you have 15, 20 minutes to speak about this topic. The second presenter, you have 15 minutes also. Then we have session for questions and answers. We have session for contribution. So we're actually using time to save time itself. Then number two, why do we need also to go about time management? Because we need to reduce the stress. Because if you actually don't know the time, for example, you are making a presentation at the podium, a presentation that you have never ever practiced it before. You might come before the audience and you'll be so tensed. You are talking that you don't even know the time. You think you might have spent 30 minutes talking to an audience while you actually spent just 5 minutes. So you're putting yourself under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure to finish that presentation. And after you finish, you just check, it's just 5 minutes gone. So we actually need to reduce, we need time management in order to reduce stress itself. Then the second thing is, if we are planning an event, we are planning our daily events. If we don't actually use time to time those things, for example, I'll be in class from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., then from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., I will also be in class. Then you cannot even plan, okay, I need to take a break from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. because you don't actually manage the time. Okay, I need to rest. Okay, let me rest within so time to so time. So with actual time management, you can reduce the stress. Then another thing is to function effectively. We all know we are not machines. We all need to rest at some point in time. So functioning effectively means you come and put a schedule up. We will talk about it later. That this is your for today. For let's say for Sunday, this is what you're going to do. So if you put it up, it will increase your effectivity because you will see that you've done the first part of what you want to do and you take, yes, this one gone. Then the second one, yes, this one also is gone. So you will see that at the end of the day, your work output has increased and you were effective in delivering that because you know I need to do this in 1 hour. So with all maximum concentration, you try to do that. Then the other aspect is time also help us write my lecture notes for Monday to Friday because today is Sunday. If you actually know that you have 24 hours for Sunday, you will reduce procrastination and start. But for example, you don't even have, you are not even conscious of how many hours you have in a day. You will keep telling yourself, okay, even if I don't start now, let me continue resting. I will start, then I can finish. You know the volume of lectures, you know how long those lectures will take you to read. So you can plan, okay, this lectures will take me 12 hours. If I start so time, then I can finish so time. But if you don't actually time it, you'll be procrastinating, okay, look, I'm tired now, let me start later, let me not stress myself, I can do it later. Before you know it, the day is gone. Okay, next slide, please. This is just a mnemonic about time management. Is it actually okay? This is a mnemonic about time management. I just try to get something about time management and actually follow the time management spelling. Okay, the thing itself, it is said time is life. Do not waste it because it has a half life. Once you don't do what you're supposed to do at that point in time, and once the time has elapsed, it's gone. Number two, the I. You have to identify major thieves of time and eject them. In this day and era, to be frank to you, social media is the major thief of time. And ejecting them is a tug of war. I cannot truly tell people, say that people can do without social media nowadays because it depends on what you use it for. For example, I can tell you every day if I wake up, every day by, let's say, if I wake up and for the first 30 minutes, I will do some other things, but rest assured, the next thing is to go to my Twitter. And to And to be frank to you, if you message me on Twitter, I don't know how to reply because I don't know how to use Twitter. The only thing I use Twitter is I read news. I follow all those news outlets, so I usually read news. That is where I get the updated news. If you send me a message on Twitter, it might even take me like 1 month before I even notice a message is there, and I might not even know how to reply it. So it depends on how you use your social media, but to be frank to you, I know what I see nowadays. It's basically the opposite way. Then the M, you have to make a realistic list of things to do and act on it. For example, you want to do, for example, let's say you want to build a house, you want to buy a car, you want to read, send it. Building a house, if I make building a house as my project for tomorrow, it's not realistic. How can I build a house within 1 day? Okay, but what if it is a buying a car? Yes, I can go and price cars, get it on that day. It's realistic. Then you have to eliminate unnecessary activities. Just basically like identifying the major tips of time. Then memory aids such as diaries and tape recorders are useful. Well, for now, I can see tape recorders are not that helpful because of the advent of technology. But diaries are very, very essential. We will come to that and I will expatiate on that. Then, and you actually want to improve yourself. Let me not say every day, but at least every week. Just sit for like 30 minutes. Just have a flashback. That has the time, that actual time for 1 week, 24 hours times 7. Was it actually well spent or it was just wasted? What have you achieved for the week? Sometimes you just discover that you've actually achieved nothing. You were just moving from from your house to the lecture room. Just on more than is necessary. Learn to say no. And this is our biggest problem in life, especially in the medical life. We don't know how to say no. If they ask you, do you know what is, let's say, colostomy? You can never say no. They said you will always have to say you cannot remember, but you cannot say you don't know. But actually, you have to learn how to say no, or I don't know, I cannot do it. Let me tell you the truth. I'm that kind of a person when I was young, maybe in school. I don't know how to say no. Anything you say, I will say, okay, yes, no problem, I will do it for you. But actually, later I realized that I really did what I wasn't supposed to do. I actually suffered from that disease of saying no. Once you learn how to say no, straight to the point, wallahi, believe me, like you will have an internal peace. But people will bring rubbish to you and say, okay, please, let's go. For example, now you are trying to read, your friend will come and ask you, no problem, you can read later. Let's go to this wedding, we'll come back in the next 30 minutes. If you don't learn to say no, he will take you to that wedding. He has achieved what he wants to achieve. But for you, you have achieved nothing. You actually wasted your time. And you might not be interested in the wedding you went for. Then the A is you have to analyze yourself and operate within your strength. Please don't take more than what is your capacity. For example, someone will tell you that he can read the whole of a textbook in 1 week. If that is not your capacity, please don't take it. That is his life. Take your own part of life. Don't take what is more than what is beyond you. You will just at the long run waste your time and energy and you will achieve nothing. Then you have to be organized. Well, in medical students, I don't have to tell them how you have to be organized because even when you're writing an exam, they will say by way of introduction, epidemiology, this and that, up to conclusion. So I know we're organized. Then you have to employ a programmer of physical and mental fitness. It's not about managing time. Your physical and mental fitness is also important, especially the mental fitness. Let me tell you something. Maybe some of you will say maybe they have some kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know, the combination of students that are here, but for example, if you are in level 6, maybe you can reason with me. During my psychiatry post, Psychiatry is more of, So that is where you will start to realize, okay, am I even mentally fit? Because when they are talking about, okay, sleeping disorders, after the lecture, you will start questioning yourself. Yes, I really have some sleeping disorders. Okay, the next thing is they are talking about depression, anhedonia, loss of pleasure in what you usually do, loss of energy. Then you start questioning yourself, am I not even depressed? I have this symptom, I have this symptom. Then the next thing they will come to schizophrenia. They will tell you about this thing. You start wondering, yes, I have this symptom, this symptom. To be frank with you, a lot of us are not mentally fit, including me. A lot of us are not mentally fit. The people that are mentally fit, to be frank with you, are not that much. But we don't tend to realize because the abnormal ones are more. So when you are the normal one, you seem the abnormal. You understand? If you are in the midst of normal people, once you are abnormal, people will know. But if you are in the midst of abnormal people, once you behave normal, then you are the abnormal. But to be frank, a lot of us are not mentally fit. That is why if you see some people behaving the way they behave, well, and to expatiate on this point, to be frank, I personally, I know like 3 people within the life of medical school that somehow they lost it mentally, that they had to even defer their session, defer the whole process of medical life. So I take mental well-being an essential component of life. We usually lack it. We don't even care. For example, now you go for ward round, they will call you don't know anything. They will call you zombie. All those things. They will call. Maybe if you go for oral exams, maybe they will call you with all sort of names. Some people will even like to say something that might even deprive you or make you feel depressed. For example, I like always to give stories during presentations. One of our classmates were in theater, so the surgeon asked him to give him a scalpel. Unknown to him, that was the first time of hearing the word scalpel. So instead of giving him the scalpel, he gave him a knot, just like knots. It was a surgery, orthopedic surgery. So we know we have ball and knot. So he gave him that. He just looked at him and said, "Yes, some of you were meant to be mechanics, not medical doctors, and they are here in theater with us." So you just can't imagine what sort of mental disturbances you'll have from that. Then you have to get to be conversant with managing backlog. For example, it's not all that you have listed for that day that you can achieve. No. A lot of things might come and pass and you have not achieved. So you have to learn how to adjust your backlog and how to make it up for the next day. When we come to scheduling, I will tell you how to schedule. Then you have to employ a schedule or a planner to chart the way we'll come to that. Then you never cease to become efficient and effective. Then the T is treat each day as your last day, maximize it. This is a very important point to each and every one of us here. We always treat every day like there is tomorrow, there is tomorrow, there is tomorrow. And to be funny enough, we all know that every day we see people that have not reached or they have not seen that tomorrow. They've died or something happened to them. So don't you ask yourself, maybe I'm the next or not? So treat each day as a day. The most important part of this is the social aspect of life. When we come, I'll explain on that. Then now, the next slide, please. How do we effectively manage time? So it's like a paradigm, or how will I say, a triangle. How to manage time? There are 3 questions you will ask yourself. What do I do? When do I do it? How well do I do it? That is just basically time management. What do I do? What, when, and how? These are the 3 questions in time management. So we'll have a combination of all these things in the next slide. Next slide, please. The first thing is how to cost your time. Most of us think that we are free. We are not free. You have to learn how to cost your time. Okay, for example, you are working. If I work, I always tell people, sit down. You have 21 or 22 days in a month that you have to go to work. Divide your salary by that number of days. Then come and divide it by the number of hours you spend every day. Then you will know how much the government has employed you for. That is your worth to the government per hour. That is how you know how valuable your time is. For example, I can tell you some things, you will think it's a joke. There are some people per hour they earn 100,000 per hour. You might think it's a joke, but when you come, maybe later in life, you realize that. Then the second thing is you have to make a activity log. You have to plan, prioritize, and goal setting. Please go back to the previous slide.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's try to manage time using that. Okay, what do I do? What and what do you want to do the next day? For example, I know a lot of us have more than 1001 things we have to do in life. But for the next day, what do I want to do? For example, tomorrow, maybe in a week time, I have an exams. Okay, but I also have the passion of building a house. Then maybe there is a wedding that is coming in 2 weeks time. Then there is also, for example, end of year party that is coming in 3 weeks time. So what do I do? What is the first thing? And when do I do it? How well do I do it? For example, from these things that I give an example, your priority is your exams because it is the first thing that will happen in your life. So you start planning for it. So you have chosen what you will do. When do I do it? Okay, I have an exams on 1 week. I need to start preparing from today for the next 5 days because maybe the lectures that I want to cover will take me 5 days to finish. Then how well do I do it? Okay, you've chosen what do I do, when do I do, how well do I do it? Some people will sit, okay, I have an exam, I will read. Once they start reading, they either doze off or they start with distractions, social media, and the rest. So they will end up derailing from what they have started. Yes, they have chosen what to do, when to do it, but they are not doing it the way they're supposed to do it. So, number one, you have to make a plan in your life. Now, in time management, if you have a pen and paper, you can take this thing down. You have an activity log. Let me tell you, to be frank to you, for the last years of my life, it has been on paper. And what I mean paper and pen is I jot out everything that I want to do. Forget about your routine. Your routine, you wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, go to pray, eat. Those are normal things. Yeah, you know them every day. It will happen. But what are those other things that you need to do differently that doesn't happen every day? So you have to make an activity log for yourself. Okay, I'm used to wake up at 8 a.m. That I will finish all those routines by 9 a.m. Okay, at 9 a.m., what is next? You ask yourself. So if you want to do that, you make an activity log. Okay, this is what I want to achieve in the next 6 months. Okay, in the next 6 months, I want to, for example, you have we all know diploma. For example, you applied for a diploma, let's say in medicine. For example, if you have a diploma in medicine, so you apply for a diploma in medicine, and it will take you like 5 months of study to get the certificate. So you see, this is a long-term thing. Then the second thing, okay, I want to maybe start up a business. And if I want to start up this business, probably I will need to buy some things, maybe erect a structure, maybe build a shop, and the rest. So you make an activity log. This is what I want to do over the next 6 months. Okay, over the next 6 months, this is what I want to do. Then you come and prioritize which ones are the most important things for you to do in this 6 months. Okay, I would say the number one thing is the diploma, start up a business. Okay, weddings are not that important. I can take off weddings from my activity log till after 6 months once I'm done with all these things. So you see, you know your activity log for the whole 6 months, and you know your priority. Then you come and plan. okay, I know I have to achieve this diploma. This diploma requires me to put in energy like 2 hours per day. Okay, if I'm going to put in 2 hours per day, so for example, let's say the diploma is 200 hours and you have like 10 days to finish it. Then 200 divided by 10, you know you need at least 20 hours per day. So you need to plan at least to schedule your priority. You know what is called timetable. How how the timetable is from 8:30 to 9. This mathematics from 9 to this. We have English. So now, come and make a plan. You know your routine. My routine is I wake up, I pray, I brush my teeth. It will take me from 8 to 8:30 class. Anything more? No. I only have to eat in the afternoon from so time to so time, and I will pray so time to so time. So it will take me 30 minutes. What is my other routine at night? Okay, I pray, I sleep, class. Then in between, that is when you come and schedule your activities. For example, now you have an activity log. You have prioritized what you want to achieve. Then you come and schedule it. How do you schedule it? Okay, I need like to put in 10 hours of study for this diploma. But it's not only the diploma that I have in life. Okay, I will come in. I will ask myself, when is my most productive time when it comes to reading? For example, for me, if I'm going to choose my productive time for it, then I will choose it at night. That is when I'm most productive. In the mornings, allow me to go and dwell into other things, maybe move about, anything that has to do with people, interaction with people and the rest. So my productive time for reading, I know, is at night. You know your most productive time for reading. So you either schedule it in the morning or in the evening. For me, I will schedule the 10 hours in the evening. Then in the morning, I will ask myself, what are other things that I need to do? Okay, today I have to go and maybe renew my ATM in the bank. I have to go and pay for school fees. I have to go and pick up my brother from school. I have to do this. I have to do that. Maybe you have like 10 things. Then the next question you ask yourself, which one should come first? Instead of you to start thinking of, okay, I need to pick up my brother. No, that is not your first thing. Your brother has a time he will close. He will close at 1 p.m. So what is the first thing that you pick? Okay, let me go and renew my ATM. This bank is open from 8 p.m. from 8 a.m. to let's say 1 p.m. So I have all the time in the morning to go and renew my ATM. So I'll start by doing that. Then to the time that I'll go and pick up my brother. Then the next thing is how we miss to manage time is, for example, we are all familiar with AKTH, American. So I will give you a simple example with that. Let's say you're coming from Nagagundi and you want to stop at ShopRite. Maybe you have something to buy in ShopRite. You have something to do in American Teaching Hospital. You have something to do in Dermanawa. You have something to do in Pass, Adobe Mall. You went to AKTH. You finish all that you want to do. Then after doing that, you remember, yeah, I need to go to Adobe. If you come back to give her something, and what I want to give her is also at home, then you go back. These are all things in the same line, but you have wasted time in going back. After each event, you waste time to go back home and pick everything. So if you are moving, for example, if this thing will happen the next day, I'll come out, okay, I need to visit my sister, go to Adobe, go this, go this, go this. Then I'll ask myself, these events, are they happening along the same route or it's a different route? Okay, these things are happening in the same route. Okay, I will do all things that are so peculiar to that route of Zoo Road up to Aminikano. Then I can schedule something that will happen in, let's say, Region Zaki for the next day, because that is not my route. Probably I'll go to Aminikano, then I'll say, okay, let me go to Region Zaki, then I'll come back to Naiba. take the same things that are happening, how will I put it, simultaneously. You can go to Aminikanu, you can go to Ado Bayramol, you can go to Naima, all along the same route. You have saved time and you have scheduled it. That is how you'll be effective. At the long run, at the end of the day, you'll see that you've gone to that Ado Bayramol, you've gone to EKTH, you've gone to your sister's house, you've done everything along that route. So what you have pending is maybe for the next day for you to take up what is happening in regions like. If not, you will spend the entire day going to Aminikano, then you move to regions like, then you remember, yeah, I need to come back to Ado Bayramol. So eventually you will finish without achieving anything. So that is, you have made a plan for your day, how to take this event. Then after you've planned that, okay, I need to do this, do that, you've done all these things, then the last checkpoint for you, you went to your sister's, to your cousin's house, and she's not at home. So you see you have a pending, you have a backlog, you've missed that. Okay, you leave it. You continue with other things. Then you ask yourself, when do I have any other activity along that route? Okay, maybe it will be in 1 week time. Is that thing an emergency? No, it's not an emergency. I can take it anytime. So you reschedule it to that Sunday instead of you to go back the next day. If you go back the next day, you will still waste time because you don't have anything to do along that route. So rather you invest your time in other things that you have to do. Please, the next 2 slides. Okay. I've talked to you about goals and priorities, then planning and scheduling. For goals and priorities, I've told you how to make with what you choose as your goals and how to prioritize which one is important. Don't take something that can happen in 1 year and push yourself to do it in 1 month. No, there are some priorities, some things that are more important than others. You have to do. For example, today, maybe I have a wedding to attend. I have a football match to watch. I have to rest. I have to do this. I have to do that. But there are 2 events or 3 events happening simultaneously at the same time. Then you have to choose which one is your priority. Is it watching the football? Is it going to a family wedding? Or is it gisting with friends? As for me, I will pick a wedding because, or gisting with friends more than other things because at least it will help you with your mental health. You understand? Maybe you just with your friends, you bring out your anxiety, your problems, you discuss about it, all those stuff. So there is what we call Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro technique is, how will I put it? It's like a technique that actually tells you how you will get to do your things or achieve things quickly within the shortest possible time. It's actually part of time management. I can remember there is one of our scholars that was saying, if you know Sheikh Albani, Suleiman, I saw you raising hand.
Yes, sir, sorry to interrupt. I want to ask Suleiman to please let some people in because they have been waiting.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So how does this technique work? Let me give a simple example. You know you have to read some. For example, you are reading for exams. If you are reading for exam, a lot of people, the amount of energy they put in studying, that is what makes them to grab the concept of what they are reading. No, actually, it's very wrong. The brain is it's also like a human being. You can't stress it that much and think it will take everything you give it. What that scholar Albani said was, your brain is like a football field. For the male, we can relate. It's like a football field. If you kick the ball too hard, it either goes out of play, maybe throwing or corner kick, and you can even miss the target if you kick it too hard. But if you are kicking it so slowly from one player to the other player, you move from your defense to the midfield to the striking zone and up to the goalpost. You understand? So that is how the Pomodoro technique is. You decide what tasks you need to complete. For example, I want to read for exams. I have an exams today. Okay, I need to start reading. I've started reading maybe let's say at 1 p.m. So after like 25 minutes, what do I do? Do I need to continue reading continuously for the next 5 hours? No. After those 5 hours, if you ask yourself what you've learned, you'll see that you have not learned anything. So after like the first 25 minutes, take a break. Or you work on another act. You take a break of like 5 minutes. Maybe you chat, or maybe you go and talk to your siblings. Maybe you watch something. You understand? Then you go back to read again. After another 25 minutes, you take a break of 5 minutes, like a cycle. So you will see that after those 25 minutes, you go and rest. You will see that during resting, you are bringing all that you've learned up. You are remembering quickly. Then after those 25 minutes, that has settled, then you go back and take it. But if what you are supposed to read in those 25 minutes, you do it continuously, trust me, at the end of the day, you will only get maybe 30% of what you're supposed to learn. That is the Pomodoro technique. Then for planning and scheduling, this is a decision matrix, as I've told you earlier, what to do, how what to do. This is very, very essential. You have to decide which of the tasks is important and not important. You can see from the metrics, what is important, the green one, you have to do it now. That is important and urgent. What is important but not urgent, you schedule to do it at a later time. Then what is not important at all, can you delegate someone to do it? Yes, then let him go and do it. If you cannot, you delete it. Okay, let me give an example. Important to do now. You have, for example, let's say it's 1 o'clock, you have to pray. No two ways about it. You know it is important and urgent to do. Class, you pray. Then important, but you not urgent. You can schedule a time to do it. For example, it's not the time for exams. Okay, I've gone to school. Maybe I need to revise what I've studied. Okay, you see, it's not an urgent thing because there's no exams today. So you can. It is important to you, but you can schedule to do it in the evening or at night. Then, if you come and choose something that is not important, for example, let me give you simply what our parents do for us. For example, now, if you are the eldest son or you are the eldest sister, if there is a wedding, our parents will decide, is this wedding even important for us to attend? They will say, no, it's not even important. Let me send Josefa to go and represent me there. So you see, they have decided it is not important for them, and they've delegated someone to go and do it for them. For example, now it is not important for them, and they went there and they are not adding any value to the wedding and to themselves. So what have they gained? At least now they are at home resting. So you have delegated someone to do it. If it is not important and you cannot delegate anyone to do it for you, then you delete it. You don't have to be everywhere every time. It's not possible. Let me tell you the truth. If you have to do everything that comes to your schedule, and you have to attend everything, believe me, you have nothing to do in life. Sorry to say. The reason why I told you everywhere every time. Once you have enough in your cup, you cannot attend everything. You cannot do everything. You have to get cognizant of deleting it from your schedule, or you have to get time for prayer, you pray. It is important when it is time for eating, you eat. It is important when it is time for resting, for you to rest. A later time, what is not important, and what is not important that you can delegate someone, and what is not important totally to you in your life, you can delegate. For example, Joseph, what is totally not important for you to be in your life? Totally not important.
Maybe sir, like reading.
No. How can you be a medical student because you say reading is not important for you? You have to, whether you like it or not. You know, in medical school they said you can force a donkey to the river, but you cannot make it to drink the water. But in medical school, you have to drink that water. For me, what I see as not important, just to take, just to be growing around. There are some people every day they leave their houses, they just be moving around without. They are just like how will I put a scala, just moving without direction. If you ask them where they are coming from, they will tell you, I'm just coming from somewhere around. What did you do? No, I was just moving around doing nothing. Then to do that is better I be on my bed and I sleep. I know I've rested and I know I've improved my mental health. So now, next slide, please. Time management and medical life. You know, for us medical students, medical doctors, we all think that medical life is everything. If I ask you to go and reflect on your life for the last 30, for the last, let's say, 3-4 years, and I ask you, what have you done outside medical life? There is nothing. The first terminology is everything you do outside medical life, suicide, 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 suicide. That is the popular terminology. No, that is suicide. That is suicide. Sometimes that suicide you are saying is suicide. It is, if you don't do it, that is the suicide. If you do it, that is where you keep yourself alive. For example, we have to take a balance between social life, family life, and what we actually call suicide. We have to identify those things. That is why I told you have to identify the most important things for you in life and the less important and what you don't even need to do. For example, I will give you an example of my friend. We were together in medical school. In fact, he has a permanent seat in the library. Everyone knows it. Nobody sits on that chair. But lo and behold, do you know that that guy, his brother was sick. He was taken to the hospital, had a surgery. He recovered and was sent, and the brother even recovered and was even back at home. That guy didn't even know his brother was sick. At that point in time, he didn't hold the phone. He said, no, phone is a distraction. But actually, what was important to him as of then was family, not the medical life. In everything you do, family is first. Just imagine you being successful and you don't have any family member. How will the life seem? So you have to balance between social life, family life, school life, and suicide. For example, now, each and every day, okay, we all know we are too busy in school. We go to school from morning to evening. Yeah, I agree, you go, no problem. But at least find some 30 good minutes of your life and invest it in your family. Because sometimes you don't know what you are missing till you live with your family. When last did you travel to meet your family from another state or something? Just after some, let's say 3 or 4 months, when maybe your family are going for a wedding elsewhere, follow them. Meet your uncles, meet your aunties, meet your brother, meet your sisters. You understand? The feeling is totally different. And believe me, it adds to your mental health. Once you go there, you feel like refreshed. When you come back, you feel like you're new. Let me give a simple example. Why, all this, for example, if you live in other countries, this vacation issue, you will see someone on vacation, but he will still be within the school premises, or he will still be within the walls of the hospital. Doing what? What are you trying to do? You are on vacation and you are not there for the vacation. That is why, to be frank, to most of the doctors are either frustrated, depressed, because we only take that medical life within the walls of those hospitals. You are on vacation, you are on annual leave, but you still come to the hospital. If I ask you what other life do you have, you will say you don't have anything. Vacation is meant for drop your usual life, drop your work life, drop your school life when you're on vacation. Go and rest. Get out of that zone. Go into another zone. You will learn more. Your mental health is important to you. So you have to find a balance. I don't say, okay, you will have to, be, as you call it, suicide. No. Suicide is not always the answer. People, when we're in level 3, there is what we call the roundabout anatomy complex. I don't know, maybe if a resource center, there is in front of Resource Center, there is one place we call Roundabout, Square About, along that transformer side, like opposite biochemistry. We actually sit there every day, but people call us and suicide. But when the exam comes, we are always the first set to pass. So it's actually not suicide. You just have to understand yourself. People see us like we don't read. But actually, my productive 10-10 was at night. People don't see me reading. So they think I don't read, I'm not serious. No. But I know my priority that even if I read to please other people, I'll just read for reading's sake, but I know I'm not doing anything to myself. So the best time for me is I will sit there, maybe enjoy the company of other social life and the rest. But at night, when I'm okay, I read. Then you have to know when you have to give your body time to rest. We often overwork ourselves, give ourselves too much task that we end up stressing ourselves and at the long run not achieving anything. Some of you here, because of reading, we have made a promise to ourselves that it is at the detriment of our own health. Let me give a simple example. Just imagine it happen. There's one of my classmates. He will buy Coke. We all know Coke, Coca-Cola. He will open it. He will take 2 sachets of Nescafe. He will pour inside. That Coke will automatically turn like one brown color. That is what he takes when he's in the library. So he alternates when sleeping. If he sleeps on Monday, then on Tuesday he will not sleep till on Wednesday, just because of medicine. And at the long run, he realized that all the A's he was aiming for, the B's were not coming. Only C. At a point in time, he was asking himself, is this actually even important for me to do? Later, I realized he was just wasting his time, putting himself in distress. As for me, yes, I know we have a lot to read, but once I take a book and I start reading, and I feel like sleeping, I will continue. But once that sleep gets to a level, trust me, I drop that book and I sleep off. Nothing. Like I feel nothing. I feel like I've not offended anyone. I will just sleep off. I know I'm doing it for my health. And one thing medical students don't actually get is a day to exam, you need to sleep. If you are used to sleeping, let's say 3 a.m. and the rest jacking, a day to exams, always sleep as early as possible. Because when you come the next day, even if you don't know the answer, you can sit down, gather your thoughts, and give a close answer. But once you don't take that rest, I'm telling you, trust me, you will black out. Even if you know you've crammed everything, you will just black out. As in, black out. Nothing will. So now, to recap what we have gone through, the explanation and how to effectively manage points before, but now practically, how do we manage the time? Let's take a critical example. Sorry, just a minute. Now, let's say we have from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Okay, let's list the activities first. I told you always to-do lists. For example, brush your teeth. You have to pray. You have to read your books. You have to attend lectures. You have to, let's say, eat. You have to visit your cousin today. You have to attend a wedding. What again? Maybe you have to do an assignment that will be submitted, let's say, in 1 week. So if you come and you are trying to make your schedule of activities. 8 a.m., you take those activities that are fixed to time. For example, uh, attend lectures. Maybe your lecture is from 9 to 11 a.m. and you know you have to attend that lecture. So that is a fixed activity. Then you go and fix the lecture. Like how you make your timetable, just go and fix the lecture there, 9 to 11 a.m. Then 8 a.m. you have to pray, brush your teeth. What of reading books? What of visiting your cousin? What of wedding? As I told you, this is something that is personal to me. Okay, reading books for me. If I want to read books, I will put it, let's say, around, let's say, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. I'll go and fix books there. Then we have also assignment. But that assignment, is it my priority or it's something that I can schedule for later? Okay, I'll submit this assignment in 1 week. Then why bother to put myself under the pressure of doing it today? So I will defy it. I will say, okay, this one I will schedule it. So I will not put it in my to-do list for tomorrow. Then I will come, okay, attending wedding today. When is the wedding? Okay, the wedding is supposed to start, let's say, at, just a hypothetical example. The wedding is supposed to start at, let's say, 11 p.m. But mind you, reading your books, you said you read your books from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. But the wedding will start at 11 p.m. So I will come to that. So if that is the case, between books and attending wedding, there is an overlap of 1 hour. Then you ask yourself, which one is most important to me? Then you say, okay, reading books is the most important for me. Then I will say, okay, I will take reading books, I will finish reading my books up to 12 a.m. Then the wedding has already started since 11 p.m. I will tell to myself, okay, after finishing reading these books, then I will invest all the rest of the time in the wedding. Even if I don't come back early or something happen, at least I have done my priority. But you'll be distracted. Then the next point I want to make is avoid multitasking. In the sense that, for example, media, you are reading your books, you are attending to someone on social media, then maybe your brother. Oh, no. If you are taking a task, make sure the task you take at hand is the one you are doing until you finish it. Then you take another one. Because if you are distracted with other tasks, you will end up spending more time and not achieving the best at any task you are doing. So basically, the take home from today's lecture is number one, make your activity log. What do you want to do for the next day? Then this next thing is you plan. You prioritize. Which one is the most important? Which one is less important? Which one has a specific time? Which one doesn't have a specific time? I can do it anytime. Then which one is it out of those events? Even if I don't finish all, which one can I keep for a later time? You prioritize. Then you come and schedule. Scheduling is making that log that I told you, like a timetable from so time to so time. I will do this. From so time to so time. I will do this. Then, for example, you finish everything and you have not done some 2 things. It doesn't mean that you have wasted time. No, you cannot aim to achieve 100%. You can aim, but you might not be able to achieve everything 100% when you start doing all those things. So, for the things that you've not done, you will come and reschedule it for the next day. That's why I'm telling you now. I have a book with me for the last 7 years. All my life has been there. There are some things that I plan to do in the last 3 years, and I've not done it up till now. But it doesn't pain me because it is something that I can always do at a later time. I will always re-strategize. For example, sometimes government policies will change that will make you not to do something. Maybe sometimes your priority will change. You thought it was your priority, then something will come up, your priority will change, you will not do it. So you keep rescheduling. You keep rescheduling till you achieve. Then at some point in time, you realize some things that you have scheduled as important to you now are not even more anything more important to you. Then you set it out. Then the most important thing is goal setting. All these activities, making activity log, you prioritize, you plan, you schedule, you execute. What is your goal at the end of the day? I'm just attending lectures, writing exams, but actually, for example, I'm in medical school, I'm just writing exams, going to classes, but my goal is to become a successful businessman. Then what are you doing in medical school? Why are you wasting your time there? You have to get up and go and find something to do for yourself. As they said, yesterday was history, right? Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. If you realize that something is not part of your goal, delete it. It is just what is a distractor, no benefit. All the people that have achieved so much in life, the most of them, if you ask them, is they manage time effectively. And I tell you, if you start managing your time effectively, all those things that you think you cannot achieve within a day, you can achieve. I can tell you that for my day, I know the time it takes me to do everything. For example, I will tell you, okay, I'm going out. It takes me 10, 15 minutes to get to Aminekano. On my way to Aminekano, if I'm not the one driving, I will take, what do you call it, my phone. For example, every day in the morning, the routine is once I wake up, finish what I want to do, I'll get out, set out for, let's say, to go to Aminekano. As I'm going to Aminekano, once I'm not the one driving, instead of me to waste the time sitting just like that, I quickly take out my phone, open Twitter, read the news. Before I get to Aminekano, I've already read all the news and the updates that I need to get. And probably I've checked my to-do list. Okay, this is the things I've jotted out a day before. I need to do this, I need to do that. Okay, now, for this morning, from this social time, these are the things I want to do. I've already revised them. I know where I'm headed to. Not just to set out in the morning, you get to Aminekano, then you remember, okay, I need to read the news. Then after that, you will be like, I know I have something to do, but actually I've forgotten what I want to do, but I'll remember later. Once you start doing that, it's just a time bomb. It's just some, you will just blow yourself up. So basically, these are the 4 points for today's lecture. That pyramid, what to do, when to do, how well to do it. Then how would you manage time? This you have make an activity log, you prioritize, you plan, you schedule, and what is your ultimate goal after doing all those tasks? If after doing all those tasks you don't have to, you did not achieve your goal, or you don't have a goal to achieve, then it's of no benefit. That is basically all I have to discuss. Then this is more on a personal note. To be frank to you, as medical students, as doctors, life is not about medical life, being within the walls of the hospital or the school life. You have to engage yourself in doing things outside medical life. Outside medical life. To be frank to you, you have to. Because later on in life, you realize that you don't have any life more than the medical life. And life is more than that. It is when you step out the doors of that hospital or school that you will know that this life is so vast. Like in Hausa, let me just put it in Hausa, karamin sani kukumi. Like the less you know, the more harm you do to yourself. Spread your wings, mingle with other people, hear from them, hear from experts. It will develop your knowledge. You will be seeing things from a wider range of view. But once you're in the medical school, these are people that think alike like you, so you don't think outside what they think. You don't do things outside what they do. But you will just meet someone that has never gone to school, let's say in Kaso Kwari, and he will outsmart you. Yeah, he will outsmart you. You think you have the thing is, we think medical doctors, we have all the knowledge, we know everything, we can do this, they are calling us doctors, we are boosting. No. Someone that has never gone to school will outsmart you. So you have to know the reality of life. This is just the medical aspect. What is the reality of life? What are other things you can do in life? You understand? Then take your family as important. Treat today as the last day of your life. So take your family important. A lot of people have regretted they never took their family as important as they should have, and they've lost their loved ones. They are always crying each and every day. They should have done this. So never in your life delay something because of something. If it is important, do it. If it is not important, take it out. Family is damn too important to keep aside, no matter what. Then social life, at some point in time, anytime I go for exams and the exams is too tough or the test is too tough, I take out myself. Take out myself to go and get some ice cream somewhere, maybe eat something somewhere, maybe go and see some people interacting. Yeah, to take the stress off. So your social life is equally important. So I think almost at the, we are not almost there, we are at the end. So the take home message is, you know what is time? Time is not an event itself, it's a measure of activities. Then the second thing is, how do you effectively manage time? You ask yourself, what do you want to do? When do you want to do it? And what to do? Then the next thing is, you have to come and schedule and prioritize and schedule. Okay, is it important? Do. It's important, but I can do it anytime. Yes. Is it something I can delegate to someone? Yes. Is it something that I cannot delegate and it's not important? Delete. How do I do these priorities? Okay, I'll put my maximum effort for the first 25 minutes, take a break of 5 minutes, then resume to that activity, finish it. Then what are the first steps for you to manage your time effectively? You make an activity log of what you want, your goal setting. What do you want to achieve? Then what are those things you want to achieve? That is making an activity log. Then you prioritize those things. Are all those things important to you for now? Yes. Not important, take those ones that are not important. Then you plan, you schedule, and you execute. Always remember, take out distractors. Take out distractors, analyze how your time is spent, those time management tips that I gave you. Then at the end of each week, sit down, ask yourself, what have I achieved so far? What have I not achieved? What do I need to reschedule? What do I need to take off to the next year? That is how you will achieve the best of your life. And I'm telling you, this is from, with all sincerity, I've achieved so much in life using my book as diary. What I need to do, what I plan. I did not achieve this, then I readjusted. Okay, I need to do this. Our priorities change due to time. Our priorities change due to other things. So learn to use book. Learn to use a book and strategize. For the book, you can plan your life for the next 6 months, next 1 year. The next day, if you're moving out, you know your schedule for the next day. We all have this our phones. There is a reminder. You just go there, type okay, visit to cousin, this and that, this and that, this and that. Okay, already scheduled. Okay, I'm going towards all those places that I'm going along that way. So you schedule everything very easy. You will finish everything. But once you go out like that without a plan, trust me, you will go out and come back without achieving anything. And I'm not teaching you to be very bad students, but sometimes even the lectures and classes, there is a time that you need to just take some break. I'm not saying you should be bad student, but there is time for everything. If there's something more important, it's too hard for you to disappear without them noticing. But sometimes I know how I get to do that, and I've never regretted it. And please avoid copying others. If others are A and you're scoring C, continue with the C, be consistent with it in all the subjects. Because you might try to score A, then you score A in one aspect, then you would have a receipt in the other subject. No. Be consistent in what you are doing. If you want to add an effort, add slowly. You might, not all of us have to graduate with A's. Not all of us have to graduate with B's. Some will graduate with C's, some will have to go through receipt. But at the long run, you have what you want to do and get out of this life. This life is too short. I think I will stop here for any questions, answer, contributions, anything that we have. I think the main thing is scheduled for 12:30 to 1:30. We started about 12:45, and I promised to speak for 1 hour, then stop, take anything So if you have anything for me, contribution, questions, or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anyone in the house? Please, let me give you the slide number. The most important slide in this presentation is slide 6, time management, slide 6, slide 7, slide 8, slide 9, 10. Slide 6 to 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is why I put them all together.
6.
Yes. These are the most important slides in life in this presentation. And believe me, once you start doing this in your life, you will do things within the shortest possible time, and you will do your best in it. Abdul Hakim, Omar, Abdul Malik, Hassan Abdullahi, Ibrahim, Muhammad, Khadija, Nasir, Murtala, Abdullahi, Nura, Isa, Rabia, Ali, Suleiman, Ibrahim, Sunday, any contribution, any questions for me? Nura, go ahead.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Actually, it was a nice presentation. So, this presentation is like I'm actually doing a second blog post.
Thank you. Your question.
So, okay, my one is actually
Okay.
so I'll just share my experience regarding what we just talked about social life, family life, suicide, all that. So actually, I used to do that suicide a lot because sometimes I stay in the hostel. So like most of the times, you just feel so boring. You don't want to even stay in the hostel. So at that moment, whenever I feel that I'm in that mood, I usually go home and just rest. I will just do nothing. I will just go home and just leave like my siblings, my brothers and sisters. That's what I usually. So that thing I did whenever I go back to the hostel, then I think I spend at least one day without and whenever I go back to the hostel, then I will challenge myself over that I think I rested. This is actually not so uh, summary that society actually has especially with thank you very much.
Suicide is actually important. So if people tell you this is suicide, no problem. Suicide has not killed me before in medical school, and I can tell you, it's only someone that has done suicide that will tell you the importance of suicide. And let me, okay, the other aspect is anytime you are tired, like you know you are tired, like your brain cannot take anything. The best thing for you at that point in time is now for you to go and read. I see people making mistake of you spend the whole day from class, let's say from 8 a.m. to Friday to learn what do you want. At that point in time, you can engage yourself in social activities, probably call your brother, call your mom, call your dad, or talk to your colleagues. Just get the stress of it. Then after that, then you go. Then you go and read. This brain, I've told you, this Pomodoro technique is very important. If that your brain is filled up, you have to decongest it somehow with a social life. So you know the times you are tired. So those are the times that you check in your social life. Simple. You know you are tired, there is nothing you can do. That is why if I want to read, I will finish reading everything. Then I will drop it, move into social life. Even if I don't come back to that reading, even if I sleep off or anything happen, I know I've done the most important task. Good and fine. So that is what I'm telling you. Prioritize your schedule and you know your priorities. Do the most important ones. Once you know after this event, I'll get tired. For example, if you want to chat, okay, I know once I finish reading, or for example, get out of medical life. Let's say something. Maybe today is Sunday. I need to sweep my room. I need to clean this, clean that. So once you finish all those events, you know you are tired. Then you move to social life. Not that you are in social life, then you want to sleep. No, you have to choose one. Do the sleeping. Then once you get tired, move to social life. Refresh yourself, then go back to your life. That's how it is. Simple. Anyone again?
I think Rabia is raising her hands. Rabia.
Rabia, go ahead. Rabia, you can go ahead. Unmute yourself.
If you have.
Maybe Rabia is not there. Or she mistakenly raised her hands.
And the other thing I also want you to know is please interact with a lot of people. I will give you a honest advice. Minimize interacting with medical life, like people within the medical life. Because once you interact with them, you will interact with these guys in school, in class. Then once you go out, once you meet elsewhere in a wedding party, the next thing is, have you read this chapter? No, I did not read this. Did you see that patient? What actually happened? What surgery was that? My brother, you have a life to live. Medical life, live it in medical life. Once you are out, discuss about something. Have friends outside the medical life. That is where you will be smart. If not, all that you know is within the medical life, and you go there, how they will call you doctor, you'll be raising shoulders while they're smarter than you. And I would like to advise us, especially those in level 5 now, level 6, the best time for you to plan out your life or your career is in level 5 or 6. It is there, and then you make a decision of who you want to be and where you want to go. Once you let that time pass, then you will start making decisions in the past. And it will be late for you. You will have to take a lot of stress to overcome that. So this is the best time for all of us. Anyone again? This Mursala Abdullah, is it the Mursala that I know, class rep?
Yes, he's the one.
Mursala, Oya, come out. Show yourself.
I'm here.
Oya, show yourself.
Guy.
You know you are the class rep. I know what you have. Anytime I go to any medical school and to any class, the first person I want to see is the class rep, because I really sympathize with him. To be frank with you, once you are a class rep in medical life, they have taken away your life. You will not enjoy anything till you graduate. It was after we graduated that I was telling us, so this my classmates were even the bad guys. Like, you are my friends, but you made me the class rep and you made me to suffer. I never knew what freedom was, enjoyment of life was, till when I got that classroom out of my head. You would finish all those lectures, you're tired, everybody is going home, but you're busy perambulating on the corridor looking for this lecturer to the other lecturer. This lecturer will tell you he doesn't care or he cannot come, go and get another lecturer to come, trying to put all these things together. But at the long run, is Once you do it with a good heart, God will find a way of repaying you. You will pass exams at least. Just do it with a good heart.
Inshallah. Maka, I cannot wait to just finish and drop the class. Now, I'm tired.
Let me tell you something. The best part of life, Nima, I was deluded. The best part of life is being a student. You might laugh now and say, then I graduated, but the best part of life is being a student. Once you graduate, sorry, I'm telling you, go and ask people that graduated. The last set that graduated, I think, S. Kabir class. I told some of their classmates that, look, don't graduate. If you graduate, that is when your problems will start. They were like, no, it's because I've graduated. Just day one of house job, those people started sending me a message that what I was telling them was true. That this medical life, no. That is not what they went for. I told them, it's too late. You have to continue. Welcome to the club. For now, you can miss class. Nobody will die. Nobody will get hurt. All those stuff, you pass your exam, you can sleep. But once you graduate, if you add 5 minutes and the patient dies, you will blame yourself for the rest of your life. Even if you come on time, do the right thing. If a patient dies, you'll be questioning your integrity. What have I done good? What have I done wrong? Maybe I did something wrong that this patient died. So all those things, being a student, that's the most. And being a student, you don't have to plan anything. It is already planned for you by the school. You have lectures from so time, you have exams from so, so you're not planning anything. But once you are once you graduate and they give you that certificate, you are on your own. You decide if you want to continue, you want to die as a general practitioner, whatever you want to do. If you like tear the certificate, it's your own problem. They have done everything for you. So for those that want to japa and those that want to stay, this is the time to start planning. If you are going into residency, you know which residency. If you are going to Japan, choose the country, start planning since now. But I know there is a lot of monetary issue to it. And when we talk about, I was a KAMSA before. When we talk about KAMSA, we are actually poor. I don't know for now. But as of then, we were actually poor. So any contribution or addition again? Let me call. There's one lady that has been consistent here. Khadija Nasibi, any addition question for us? Or Khadija Nasibi is not here also. And another contribution is, please, anytime you are delegated to do something, don't see that you are going to waste time on your classmate for doing something for your classmate. Take it as a sacrifice. Do it with all sincerity and good heart. It might be the starting point for you. All those avoiding activities, maybe running away because they don't want to take anything more that they want to go at it. Don't mind them. Just do it with a good heart. I was class rep from level 2 till the time we graduated. I did not die. I graduated with other students. First batch. So what is there? Was there for any addition? Okay, Sunday, go ahead.
Okay, Sunday, unmute yourself.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm not sir. I'm your friend.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chief. We are actually very grateful for your own presentation, actually. And may God Almighty rewards you. We benefited. Honestly, we benefited.
Don't worry, this is a time it is speaking out, no problem.
Sir?
Speaking Hausa, this is a KAMSA meeting, no problem.
Kamar yadda yake gaskiya muna farin ciki da wannan ainihin presentation din sosai saboda a wasu lokutan zaka iske da cewa mutum kawai shi jakin din ya sa a gaba kawai ba wani maganan a yi dan wani social life da sauransu ko kuma kawai friends ma kai ba medical student ka samu kusan sai ka gama kana wasting time ɗinka ne, amma gaskiya a yanzu na fahimta da cewa ba ya kamata a shiga ainihin mu'amala da sauran mutanen da ainihin ba ma a fil ɗinka suke ba, so wannan ya ƙara min ƙarfin gwiwa sosai. And then kuma magana family din nan shi ma is very very important gaskiya, na ji daɗi haka saboda wani lokacin da aka iske da cewa saboda you are occupied sai ka manta ma kusan wani lokacin ma da kana da wasu yan uwa ma da yawansu, despite ba akwai ƙalubale na wasu lokutan ma za ka iske da cewa kamar an manta da irin da sauransu kai ma kamar ka manta da wani, amma dai yanzu gaskiya na fahimta da cewa za mu riga mu adjusting hakan. And then zai yi da Allah ka if you can drop your email sir, we will be grateful wallahi to ko da akwai wasu lokutan nan muna da wasu irin neman shawarwari, we can just email you in kana da lokaci. So this is my contribution sir. Na good.
Let me drop my phone number because I'm not conversant with email. You might send maybe something. For me, is WhatsApp is very easier. Anytime you send me a message on WhatsApp, I will definitely reply.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Khadija, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for thank you for the wonderful presentation. Indeed, it was an interesting session. Please, can you help us drop the slide at the end of the presentation?
The slide is already with KAMSA.
Okay.
Inshallah, we'll share the slides together with the recording of the presentation, inshallah, later.
Okay, thank you.
The most important slide 6 to slide 10.
Okay.
If anything you want to be in this slide, once you apply this slide, ask yourself this slide 7, what to do, when to do, how well to do it. Then you come and make this plan, prioritize, schedule, goal setting. Then you come and put them based on this matrix, do, decide, delegate, delete. Then how you get this things done using Pomodoro technique. That will be your home and drive. Anything that you don't, let it not deter you. Yes, you cannot achieve everything. Like you plan again.
Mm-hmm.
So adjust. Get your jotter. Get something to write.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do this. You will forget. Let me give you a simple example. Yesterday, I wanted to buy some things for my phone and some things. Before I went out of the house, I got a small paper and I jotted all those things down. And trust me, when I went there and I came back, I didn't jot all those things. I will just go there with my time and I will miss something. And I'll come up without doing something, missing one of those things. But I did everything and come back. And I forgot to tell you. Once you have a phone, and most of our phones now are smartphones. Once you are moving and you remember something you want to do in life or something that you want to do the next day, just go to your reminders. Just type it. Just type it in your reminders. So that when you come back home, you can include it in your note or the reminders I need. For example, let me give a simple example. If I want to send someone a congratulatory message for his wedding, once I see the invitation card, I always go to my calendar or reminders and I will set an alarm for that day and that time. So I will not forget. It's not that I remember, no. It's the message. Yes, Sunday. I saw your hands up.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful presentation. Because I'm very happy that I saw some people even from Jos, because Sunday is from Jos. Is a member of KAMSA from Jos, and I saw Khadija is from FUD. So I'm very happy to see so many people participating in this webinar, and I hope they will take this message to their colleagues in the various local chapters of KAMSA and the school at large. And also, inshallah, we'll put this recording of the meeting, inshallah, on our YouTube channel, which can be accessed later by every student, because some people will want to attend this webinar, but they were not able to because of some tight schedules. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We are very grateful. Thank you for giving us your time and coming here to participate in this webinar. And thank you to my committee members, Sulaiman, the Sulaiman Ibrahim, the other Sulaiman, also Zainab, and Ali Yahya. I'm very grateful to them for being members of this KAMSA webinar committee. Very grateful. Thank you very much, sir. I don't know if you have any closing remarks, sir.
My closing remark is KAMSA, this thing you introduced is actually important. I know this is not the first, maybe the first one. We have a lot of topics to talk about. Actually, this medical school, you understand, not all about jacking. You have to bring in other things so that people will see the beauty and start diversifying to be aware of what they are doing. Most of medical students of nowadays, I'm telling you, they are not aware of time. Jacking. It's not all time is spent. No. Some things you are not aware of it. You are not aware of how to improve yourself. I'll tell you some things like this. And for example, maybe I saw you have a webinar on scholarship series. A lot of medical students, they don't even care about applying for scholarship while they're in school. But there are a lot of internships opportunities, scholarship opportunities that you apply, you go as a medical student, you travel to US, travel to UK, do some internship, come back. Oh, actually, I really commend you for doing all these things, and I pray and I hope you continue to do all these things. They said no one is too busy in this world. It is all about priorities. That is my last slide, I think. So no one is too busy in this world. It's all about priorities. What is your priority? Do let me know what I have. If I have this, I will not allow my senior one to pass through that because we pass blindly without guidance, without anything. But now that we have learned, I promise to myself, anytime I come across any of these students, I will tell them what to do. Like Mursala, we have been in constant conversation with. I've been pushing him, apply for scholarship, check this, because I know these are the things we need. It's not about jacking. You finish jacking, you graduate, what next? Nothing. You don't have something scheduled for life, but because even today, even before this webinar, I think we have been chatting with you. So a lot of people, I know them, we've been in touch. So that is just what I will have to say. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, sir. Yes, Suleiman, anything?
I think that's all. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you. Drop the number. Anytime there's
all right, sir.
In the future, I will be glad to help, no problem.
All right, do nobody to say.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Ali, anything? Ali Wila.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.
Good day to you, presenter. Thank you very much, Doctor, for your wonderful presentation. I am Ali Ahmad from FPD, Federal University, Kusin, from KAMSA member. So my question is, you talk about scholarship, but in our local chapter, we need like more introduction, or I can say more orientation regarding scholarship. Because scholarship opportunity is not that known to us in our local chapter. So please, sir, can you like maybe talk to our elders in the in KAMSA FPD chapter regarding the scholarship opportunity? And then secondly, regarding this time management, you really said a lot about time management, and I really gained a lot about time management and how to schedule my time regarding my studies. So I really appreciate. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate you. We are grateful. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think about this issue of the scholarship. Inshallah, we were in this last week on Sunday. We talked to you about the scholarship issue and capacity building. And inshallah, we are trying to get the links and names of the scholarships that are available, because for me, I'm a beneficiary of SNEPCO scholarship. I'm still getting my scholarship from SNEPCO. And also I have got so many internship programs, maybe with Coursera, Acumen. I've done a lot of things. So there are many people like this in KAMSA that have been participating in extracurricular activities, scholarships, and other things. So inshallah, we will try to get a time for a webinar like this on scholarships and other opportunities. And inshallah, we'll invite the resourceful people and you will enjoy it, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Inshallah.
I think we will call it a day. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Ya mun ji daɗi. Allah ya saka da alkhairi.
Amin. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank